E observa que você vê que teve perdas, entendeu? Muita perda de abortamento de chumbinhos. Poderiam estar mais cheios, entendeu? Poderia estar bem mais cheio. Tudo é abortamento que teve.
This is all abortation because the drought we had, and should be like a full rosetta like this, Julie. So, and you see, you just compare here and here. So that is the abortation because the drought. Don't see no.
Lavoura bem nutrida, todos os tratos em dia.
So it's very well nutrient.
São perdas que estão totalmente associadas ao clima.
And fertilizer, you see 10 tons of chicken manure. So.
Looking at this very well maintained farm, and you can see there's chicken manure on the ground, very well fertilized. There's a little bit of rotation here. But what we're looking at is how much of the crop was lost. So if you saw the crop just a few months ago, there would have been more fruit here, but it aborted, and so there's going to be less production than what was expected. These are full, and then as you go along, you could see all this was aborted fruit. So they thought they had the crop, but they don't. Not all of it. Explain the differences here, what we're looking at. On this node, it flowered, but the flower didn't open. And then on that one, it flowered and the flower failed. Okay, but where's an example of where the fruit fell off once it started to grow?
And you see
here we have where the flowering didn't set. Here the flower had opened but failed. And then here where you had the cherries start to form and they dropped off. Skeletonized in October when you saw that the flowering wasn't going to take. So you sacrificed this past year's crop to have a good return for 22-23, but the vegetative growth isn't what it should have been. Now, is the reason for the smaller vegetative growth because you skeletonized the tree later than you usually would, or is the lack of growth because of the continued hot weather and lack of rain?
Não está crescendo tanto, muito mais, não porque ele estou em outubro, mas muito mais por falta da água.
Sim, com certeza.
It's just because the lack of water.
Não somente a falta de água, mas o excesso de temperatura.
Yeah, the lack of water, and what he said right now is the excess of high temperatures, is heat, very heat.
Okay, so even skeletonizing in October, which would be like 3 months late, you still would have had lower vegetative growth though, because you skeletonized it after the flowering, not before the flowering.
Yeah, after the flowering, yes.
Okay, and therefore it would have been behind anyway, but then it fell further behind because of the weather. So this farm is 1,000 meters, and they had temperatures of 37 degrees Celsius, so it was super hot, and that's why they didn't get the vegetative growth after skeletonizing it, and therefore the 2022-23 crop is now compromised. It's short by about 4 nodes. So if it's short by 4 nodes, what percentage of the crop automatically is that would seem to be lost? How many nodes should there, internode, or should there be at this point?
Quantos internodes deveria ter nesse ponto? At least 4 internodes more. But quanto você acha que vai perder de carga com essa falta de 4 internodes em termos de sacas? Mais ou menos.
50% perde.
50%. 50% loss with this 4 internode less.
50%. Wow.
That loss should be.
Okay, I was thinking it was about 20-25%.
No,
But
50%.
so on these you only get about 8 nodes in general, and so then it's 50%.
Ela está perguntando o seguinte, Alice, for 8, não, quanto seria o normal em termos de
Because there's 6 here. Are there going to be more nodes between now and March?
Você acha que vai ter mais internode entre agora e março?
Se tiver no máximo, talvez aí internode, né?
One more, Julie.
So there'll be one more node. So that would be 7 and 4 lost.
De
Right.
How much?
So that would be a total of 11, but 4 were lost.
Deveria ser total de 11 internódios. Se você pegar esse período todo, 4 vai
Yeah,
ser
so it is less than 50%.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm on a farm in Campos Altos. It's a very well taken care of farm. Lots of chicken manure fertilization. The altitude is 1,000 meters. This was skeletonized in October, and the vegetative growth was impacted because of the dry weather and high heat. They had temperatures of 37 degrees Celsius here. What they're saying, now this is a tall tree, so the internode area is proportionate to that and is larger. But what they're saying is that normally you would have 4 more nodes than what you have here. The vegetative growth period is going to end soon, and they expect to have 1 more node that will grow. So on this branch, you could see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 more would be 7. Here's the 1 more right here. They lost 4, so that's 4 out of 11. They lost 36% of next year's crop potential based on the number of nodes. So that means that they'll have 36% less area of flowering. Now, obviously, if the cherries hold, there isn't much abortion, everything else, it can make up for some of that if they had perfect conditions. But you're really starting out with a strike of 35% off the top from the. This was developed by seeds here at this farm. It's just unbelievable how beautiful it is. And this is with climatic problems.
I'd like to take a picture with Alicia.
Okay.
So, and maybe with you.
Bom dia, mi amigo. Hola. So last time I was here, you were so angry, you kicked the tree and you said no popcorn. So do we have any coffee or no?
A gente tem café agora ou não tem café, Pouquinho?
Marcelo, para não ser assim tão incoerente, né? Então, em dezembro era a safra 0. Agora vamos elevar a potência. Então é 0 vezes 0. Então aqui, ó, vamos confirmar 0 vezes 0. Nada. Aí, ó. Aí você viu.
He's just saying that in December we were zero. And now it's 0 times 0 is 0 squared.
Okay. So let's talk about next year then. How is the vegetative growth?
Não tem nada, né?
Como você acha que está o vegetativo, o crescimento vegetativo para o próximo ano?
Não, de 2 meses para cá cresceu um pouquinho, mas não tá um pouco aquém do desejado ainda.
Okay, the last 2 months we had some, growth, but
Right.
it's far away that should be.
How much should it be compared to what you have here?
Quanto mais deveria ter de internóides do que realmente está hoje? Quanto deveria ser o normal?
Não,
Mostra no tamanho da rama.
Não, assim, a lavoura, ela cresceu um pouquinho de 2 meses para cá, né? Porque se for ver a lavoura aqui, ela vegetou. Eu não posso falar assim que a lavoura tá ruim demais, mas não tá.
He's just saying that it's better than it was 2 months ago, Mas ela está perguntando o seguinte, mostra no tamanho quantos internódios a mais deveria ter crescido.
Olha aqui pra você ver.
But you would
aqui,
normally expect that after
Aqui,
a
ó.
rain, right?
Ah, olha lá.
Aqui, ó, para
Ok.
aí. Ó. Olha aqui pra você ver, ó. O crescimento foi só isso aqui, olha aqui pra você ver, aqui, ó. Entendeu? Muito pouco.
Okay. And how much would it normally be?
É.
Aqui, quanto deveria ser a mais? Mostra
Aqui,
aí.
ó. Aqui.
Okay.
Entendeu?
So for next year's crop, then you're looking at what percent will be lost because there's no,
Traduz pra nós aí, Marcelo.
because of the vegetative growth.
Excuse me?
What percent does he think will be down from what he would have had because the vegetative growth?
Quanto você acha que deveria ser? Quanto você acha que você vai perder de produção porque não cresceu o suficiente para a safra de 2023, Choquinho?
23 ou 22? 22.
22, desculpa.
Eu acho que, assim, eu acho que 40%, acho que...
For 40%
Okay,
less.
so that's close to what we were saying on your farm at 35,
Yes.
Yeah. about, okay, so it's very close.
Cresceu aqui. 1, 2, 3.
Porque mostra para ela, nothing, banguela.
É,
The abortion
Okay.
is too
Yeah.
much. Né? Teve muito abortamento.
I know when you have nothing and you take away from nothing, you still have nothing, but there was a little bit of coffee here and there, okay? So did any of it fall to the ground? Is he now thinking he's gonna even have less than December or a little more than he thought 2 months ago on the cherries that are here?
Porque a gente esteve aqui em dezembro e ela tá vendo alguns cafés. Tá tendo aí ó, um pouco de café. Você acha que caiu muito café no chão?
Não.
Você acha que justifica essa colheita? Tá certo? Vai ter um pouco de grãos aqui.
essa é a pergunta das mais importantes que tem. Esse café que tem aqui, ó, não paga a colheita. Se você largar ele aqui, ó, é melhor. Mas você não pode largar por causa da broca. Né? Você sabe, se é produção,
Sim.
você sabe. Então você tem que pegar esse cafezinho aqui e, você sabe, sei lá, você não paga nada.
He's just saying
zero.
that, yes,
É zero ao cubo, né? Zero à potência.
we have coffee today, but what the problem is, the little coffee we have doesn't pay the cost to pack the machine or to harvest by hand picking. So that is, we needed to harvest, of course, but that is going to be a loss. It's not going to be a profit.
Right.
So,
But that coffee can still be sold for it, so it still makes a crop.
yeah,
Right.
The coffee can be sold. Se o preço do café melhorar,
No, it's to still be sold to someone. So even though it's a loss, it's still, when
Yeah.
I'm talking about bags of coffee produced, it's still producing coffee. So it doesn't go to my question of from 2 months ago, the little bit that is it growing normally, or was there coffee falling, or disease,
Okay.
or what is the status in the past 2 months for the coffee that's developing?
A pergunta exata dela é o seguinte: nos últimos 2 meses parece que melhorou, tá certo?
Parece,
Você
né?
acha que realmente deu alguma doença ou não deu doença, tá certo? Caiu o café no chão, apareceu um pouco mais de café, tá certo? O que você vê? Por exemplo, desse lado eu vejo mais café, mas desse lado eu não vejo café, tá certo?
Então,
E
Marcelo,
aqui no alto.
aqui tem um pouquinho de café,
Okay.
mas é um café que não paga nem a colheita. Não é?
Sim, mas você acha, a pergunta dela é, você acha que melhorou de 2 meses para cá?
Não tem nada não. É zero, isso aqui não tem nada.
Yeah.
Ué, que café que tem aqui?
E-
O negócio é o seguinte, ou tem café ou não tem. O negócio é taxativo, é assim, ué, não tem nada. Ué,
He's just saying that what we have in coffee here,
não tem.
okay, it's nothing.
Não tem.
So
Right.
that what should.
Yeah.
You see, Julie, I would like to show you this. You have some coffee here, that's true.
Right.
But you don't have. So
You know, I believe me, I understand that from when we were in this exact same spot last time and we were kicking the tree and
Yeah.
hunting around for all the coffee.
deixa eu falar um negócio aqui.
I guess my point
I'll stop it
is
Pô,
that a lot of little coffee from every farm is going to add up to some bags
Oh,
in
yeah.
terms of the production number. So his little bit and someone else's little bit and someone else's little bit is suddenly going to add up to some number.
sure.
And that's what I'm trying to understand, what that potential is. And so that's why I'm asking him, is the little bit that's nothing that he has, is the condition of it better or worse than what he thought in December?
Okay. Okay, let me ask
Okay.
him first. O que ela tá falando que é o seguinte, tá? Ela sabe que daqui 2 meses atrás estava ruim, mas agora parece um pouco melhor. Tem um pouquinho de café, vai ter um pouquinho de café lá na minha fazenda, em outras fazendas, que junta tudo, vai dar um percentual de café. A pergunta é específico para ela. Você acha que está melhor agora do que estava em dezembro? Parece que sim, eu vejo que sim.
Não. O café que tem aqui, se eu te der de graça para você ou para ela, eu dou de graça para vir apanhar, para mim ficar livre desse negócio. Para mim não serve para nada, esse cafezinho aqui. Não serve para nada, não compensa.
Okay. He's just saying that specific for him.
Uh-huh.
He give you for free if you come
Right.
here
Uh-huh.
and you harvest
Right.
for free. He give to you
Okay.
because he's gonna spend more to collect
Right.
than what the amount he's gonna sell at this price, at the price we have right now.
Right, but he's going to try to sell it to recover some of that cost, right?
Ela tá falando, mas daí você vai tentar vender para tentar recuperar
Não.
algum prejuízo, tu sabe?
Se eu achar alguém que pega o café, levar de graça, para limpar a lavoura, eu dou de graça. Nada.
Ele tá falando que he's just saying that in the case that if he find someone that can take the coffee for free,
Right.
okay, and he doesn't spend zero, okay, he just give for free because it's gonna be profit for him
Right.
if he doesn't have to harvest.
Right. So I was trying to find out if there was any coffee that prematurely dropped to the ground, and the response that I got was,
There is no coffee on the tree, no coffee on the ground.
so there's no coffee here, but he had some absolutely delicious dragon fruit that we have a bucket full. There's more dragon fruit than coffee here. Oh, what a shame.
Depois você manda esse
intentionally. I once had the crop, but it was planned to be skeletonized following a very good crop last year. And so the situation here is this is all the growth that we've seen, and how far should this growth have been if we had normal conditions? What should it have looked like now?
Joaquim, na sua opinião, que é o dono aqui da área, se em condições normais, se não tivesse tido a seca e tudo mais, quantos internóides a mais deveria ter crescido? Vem aqui, mostra aqui. Quanto a mais deveria ter
Aqui,
crescido?
ó, o problema é que a lavoura tem buraco, tá vendo? Que você enxerga lá no outro lado da rua, lá, tá vendo? Lá.
Sim, não, mas mostra quanto
Então.
mais a rama aqui deveria ter crescido,
Aqui, ó.
no teu entendimento, se tivesse
Vem aqui pra você ver, aqui, ó.
Okay.
Tinha que estar aqui sim, né?
4 internóides
É,
a mais,
assim,
3
Não tem nada aí, não tem nada, não cresceu nada. Vem aqui pra você, ó. Aí, ó, aqui pra você.
There is no more café.
Aqui, ó.
Cara, e adubação, como vai ser como a situação?
Okay, so what we have here is this was
Resumindo, né?
skeletonized,
Tá pra zero, né, Marcelo?
and when the machine passed, it didn't hit this branch, and that's why there's this little bit of coffee here at the top. So the machine came and passed and cut the branches on both sides, but didn't touch the height.
Aqui não é nada, aqui é
But
zero.
at the time, it missed this branch, and so that's why it had the crop here that's developing. But all the rest, there's absolutely nothing here.
No carnaval, nós estamos aqui comemorando folha. Só folha.
E de máscara!
Folha de máscara. Olha pra você ver que situação. Aqui não. Falar que não tem nada, tem uns grãozinhos, né, Marcelo? Olha aqui, ó. Quantos grãozinhos tem? Aí.
Não paga a conta, olha o
Paga
So this was skeletonized in 2019. You were supposed to have a great crop this year. There's some coffee here, but when you look around, this is the rarity,
Vem cá ajudar nós, doutora Armando.
and
Vem na fazenda.
Mas o preço devia estar um
for
salário
the
mínimo
most
uma saca
part,
de café,
there's
não
just
devia, meu amigo?
not
Para o
much here.
pessoal não vazar fora do café, né? Como é que faz? O pessoal vai pôr soja, milho, depois vai estourar o leite derramado, né?
Vai ter que subir, então.
Subiu, já devia estar subindo, aí. Nada de café.
Como que é o negócio? Acabou?
No more popcorn.
Acabou o milho, acabou a pipoca?
Acabou o milho, acabou a pipoca.
This should have 3 more internodes. Wow. Okay, so it's between 3 and 4 so far between the farms that we're missing for 22-23 production.
Cadê o ar aqui? Tatinho? Cadê? Tem até a técnica para cortar, não tem? Ó.
Tem.
Ó. Ó, tá perfeito o grão.
Okay.
Tá perfeito.
It's okay.
Ó, não tem broca, ó.
Menos mal, né?
Mas é pouquíssimo que não paga a conta.
Menos mal.
There's a branch with coffee, very little, and then I mean, this is basically the same problem. I mean, that was here before. The only difference now is the size of the cherries, and they are looking fairly uniform in development, and there doesn't seem to be signs of a lot of the cherries having fallen to the ground. And inside, when we broke them open, the beans seem to be developing normally. But this is a higher altitude area, and so that's possibly one thing. Here's this farm. I mean, there's some unevenness, there's some ripening cherries. It's just what a typical tree looks like. Actually, this tree has a little more coffee on it than the others. But you go to the next tree, and it's just rows and rows and rows looking like this. But over and over again, what I'm finding is that the vegetative growth did not catch up. That was what I was told would be the situation when I was here 2 months ago, that the loss in the growth was the loss in the growth, and no matter how much rain you had, there wasn't going to be more nodes that were going to develop suddenly and faster. So we're seeing that, and that is going to be a problem for the 22-23 crop. It's going to be behind because the vegetative growth is very, very reduced from what it should be at this point.